Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Top Most Things, and today we will discuss about top 10 countries with the highest salaries in the world. So without wasting your time, let's get started. Top 10 highest salary paying countries in the world. At number 10 is Iceland. Average annual income US $66,504. The population of Iceland is 0.3 million. Average annual GDP of US $28,980. The average unemployment rate is 2.7% of the labor force. The employment rate is 85.6% of the working age population. Hours worked 1,469 hours/year. At number 9 is Luxembourg. Average annual income US $65,449. The population is around 0.5 million and average annual GDP US $27,732. The average unemployment rate is 5.6% of the labor force. The employment rate is 67.6% of the working age population. Hours worked 1,506 hours/year. At number 8 is Switzerland. With average annual income of $64,109. The population of this country is 8.1 million. Average annual GDP of US $67,961 and minimum annual wage is none. Average unemployment rate 4.7% of the labor force. The employment rate of 80.3% of the working age population. Hours worked 1,459 hours. At number 7 is the United States of America with the average annual income of US $63,093 and the population is around 318.9 million. Average annual GDP of US $14,712. The average unemployment rate is 3.9% of the labor force and employment rate is 71.1% of the working age population. Hours worked 1,786 hours/year. At number 6 is Denmark. Average annual income $55,254. Population 5.6 million. Average annual GDP of $55,138 but minimum annual wage is none. The average unemployment rate is 5.0% of the labor force and the employment rate is 75.5% of the working age population. At number 5 is the Netherlands. The average annual income is US $54,262 and population is 16.8 million. Average annual GDP of US $21,936. Average unemployment rate 3.8% of the labor force. At number 4 is Australia. The average annual income is US $53,349 and population 23.5 million. Average annual GDP of $23,316. Average unemployment rate 5.3% of the labor force. The employment rate of 74.2% of the working age population. Hours worked 1,665 hours/year. At number 3 is Belgium. The average annual income is US $52,079 and population 11.2 million. Average annual GDP of US $21,336. Average unemployment rate 5.9% of the labor force. The employment rate of 64.7% of the working age population. Hours worked 1,545 hours/year. At number 2 is Norway. The average annual income is US $50,955 and the population is 8.5 million. The average annual GDP is US $65,603 with a minimum annual wage is none. Average unemployment rate 3.8% of the labor force. Employment rate 75.0% of working and population. Hours worked 1,416 hours/year. And the country which belongs to number 1 is Austria. The average annual income is US $50,868 and population is 5.1 million. The average annual GDP is US $18,360 with an average unemployment rate of 4.8% of the labor force. The employment rate is around 73.5%. Hours worked 1,511 hours/year.